Hello. Okay, let's see what this is about. We got the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Okay, so that's cool. You could be in a position where you are, excuse me, confident, okay, within your own position, what you've created and formed, right? And you could be feeling inspired to take action towards what you feel is purposeful, adventurous. I got like something going on over here with my glasses. Yeah, you could be feeling like you're moving forward towards something that you're truly passionate about after having created a stability for yourself, okay? I just wanted to say, I get these messages, you know, intuitively through, you know, what they're wanting, you know, what is wanting to be expressed. But if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't, type of thing, you know what I mean? If it resonates for you, then you know it's for you. But yeah, I feel awkward sometimes doing this because I'm like, you know, let me see. Like, I know, okay, based on my own experience, that what each person is meant to see and what they're meant to hear at any given moment, you know, anywhere you are in your life, is what you are, you know, meant to see and hear. And so with that awareness, I'm, you know, helping for others to receive the messages that they're meant to be receiving. But if you have like some type of, let me see, unwillingness or inability to, you know, recognize that that is what's going on, then it's probably not a message for you at this time, right? You know, so just wanted to put that out there real quick. But that could be something that's, you know, in your life that you're recognizing that you are, you know, creating the life more intentionally that you're wanting to have, instead of just feeling that, you know, what you see is what you get. You are, you know, becoming more of a co-creator, okay? So we got the Two of Wands, or Two of Pentacles. Yeah, Pentacles. So you can be creating a balance for yourself and really knowing what it is that you're wanting to add into your life, what there could have been, you know, as a normal in some type of way, and what it is that you're wanting to, you know, more actively bring in, okay? So let's see what the rest of this message is about. Hold on, Shepherd. Oh, we got 9-9. There could be certain cycles that you're anxious or overwhelmed with as far as completing or closing out of, okay? But at the same time, you can be confident with staying true to yourself, with the wisdom that you've gained and the level up that you've achieved. You'll be recognizing, you know, much more confidently of where it is that you're meant to be putting your attention, and no longer, you know, questioning whether you should do certain things or not, okay? You could be, you know, getting to a position where you are, you know, knowing more intentionally what it is that you're wanting to create, okay? And not holding yourself back based on insecurity or, you know, possibly even other people's viewpoints or opinions, okay? I had a lot of messages showing up recently talking about some type of like group dynamic that could have been going on. Somebody could have been, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna hold on to that one for a second. There could have been outside influences that were, you know, guiding or misleading you in certain ways, and at this point you could be recognizing this, okay, and feeling confident within your own independence and the action that you are taking along your own path, okay? We have the Queen of Pentacles in the World. So yeah, you could have created a greater stability within yourself and are ready to embark upon a new adventure. Like I was saying, closing out certain cycles and opening yourself up to a new beginning. You could be feeling that you are guided and protected, okay? We got the person with angels over here, or angel wings, you know, and the little protective circle, right? So you could be opening yourself up to what it is that you are, you know, meant to receive as far as, you know, what you physically want in your life, and you can be ready to embark upon this new beginning. Look at the, oh, watch out. We got the Lovers and the King of Pentacles, okay? So you can be recognizing that you're moving forward towards, you know, relationship dynamic possibly, or a more, you know, solid structure where you are, you know, making more intentional loving choices and having the stability that is being formed that you're no longer questioning. Oh, but I'm gonna say it's a partnership too, because we got the six of Cups right there too. So yeah, you could be, you know, getting to a position where you are stabilized within your loving expression, recognizing that you are receiving this back into your life, and you could also be feeling that you've been able to look at things in a much more joyful and innocent way, okay? You could have healed from certain previous wounds or outlooks and perceptions, and you could be ready to really face what you feel is meaningful at this time. It's so cute. Look at these cute little babies looking, you know, they're loving each other. So that's cute. Okay. So you could be moving forward towards deeper connected soulmate connections, okay? And having the stability on not just one person's position, but a true pair of you know, stabilizing forces, basically, okay? And you could be getting you could be getting let me see, what's it called? What's the word? Cooperation. Thank you. You could be getting different levels of cooperation when it comes to you know, recognizing what it is that you're not wanting, and you could be, you know, receiving the signs that you're needing to, you know, navigate in a way where you move forward towards what you know what something is worth towards you or for you, okay? And confirmation. I think this showed up yesterday in the reading. I'm not sure if, because it was like just really quick, but there's the King of Cups and the Empress, so it could have been the Queen of Cups and the Emperor, or you know, vice versa or something like that. But there could be this recognition that, you know, as you are you know, nurturing yourself and others and openly expressive with what it is that you're desiring to say, you could be receiving what it is that you know is meant for you, okay? You could be recognizing that what is meant for you will not pass you by. And look at that, oh my god. Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. You could be really receiving in your life what you know, you would be considering a gift. And, you know, we got the Twin Flame dynamic as well. There could be, you know, a more structured lifestyle that you can feel comfortable within, in a way that you're no longer questioning where it is that you're needing to look for the support, or, you know, you could be feeling that you are, you know, fully secure within your environment and within your home, your community, and your family. And you can be moving forward towards, you know, a new chapter, all right? With really bringing, you know, physically into your life what it is that you're desiring of, okay? Yeah, you can be looking at things in a much more celebratory way when it comes to the group dynamics that you have around you. And we have the Emperor right here, okay? You can be recognizing what it is that you had been restricting, but at this point you are wanting to will into your reality that much more intentionally. You could have had certain epiphanies and are using your discernment more intentionally to create the plans that you are, you know, wanting to have whatever outcome with, okay? You be recognizing that you have the full capability within your grasp or within your own abilities to achieve this. And That's cute. We have the 2 of Wands and then the 3 of Wands. So like as you put the effort into this situation, you could be that much more open to what it is that you're meant to be receiving. No longer feeling that this is some far off, unattainable goal. Okay. What are you doing over there? Don't be chewing on that wire. Don't even think about it. Thank you. Don't. Look at this guy. Come here, Peter. Come here, Peter. Come here. Show your face. Oh, my bed's not made. Anyway, but we got the Fool and the 9 of Cups, so you could be really kind of looking at a situation in a much more carefree, lighthearted way, and you know, ready to take a leap of faith when it comes to what you feel is a personal wish come true that you're wanting to engage upon. Okay, and let me pull the rest of those out really quick. Yeah, you could be feeling that you're, you know, ready to kind of launch yourself into a new beginning. You could be, you know, recognizing that you don't know, you don't have all the answers, but you're open to finding out, and excuse me, and you're you know, moving in a way that you feel is truly fulfilling. Okay. Right, yeah. We have the Judgment and the Queen of Wands right here, and the Ace of Cups. How cute. And the 10 of Cups. Nice. So, you know, as you move forward towards what it is that you're truly desiring, you're recognizing that you're opening yourself up to a new emotionally fulfilling beginning that is leading you towards true contentment and fulfillment in a way that is not only for, you know, a beginning, but, you know, a desired outcome. Stop. And chill, guy, come on. And you know, it's something that you could be feeling is no longer something that you had been just desiring of, but having be unattainable, but you have, you know, gotten to a position where you're reaching your end game or your end goal. You could be recognizing that you've done a lot of work to mature and ground yourself, stabilize yourself, and, you know, put the efforts into what it is that you're wanting to grow and create. And you could be looking at things from a much more healed perspective, feeling that you are truly aligned and aligning with your higher self, and able to help educate others at the same time with the awarenesses that you formed. So, pretty cool. And there could be certain, like, just based on this, these are all based on books, the pictures in these things, right? And just based on the story that this one's showing, it's like, I think there were what is it called? Oh man. Like unknown truths or fables or lore in certain ways, you know what I mean? Like there could have been some type of mysterious quality of, you know, what it is that you've been working on, and maybe, you know, not everybody else could be recognizing or know for sure what the truth is, but you are getting to a greater sense of confidence with, you know, how you've aligned and how you're wanting to present yourself, and you know, kind of educate others, inform others, and guide others through their own journeys. Okay. We got the 4 of paper and the 6 of paper, so that's, you know, together that's the 10. Oh well, that means in this one it's pentacles, so so 4 of Pentacles and 6 of Pentacles. So you could be knowing that you're moving forward towards creating the foundation and stabilizing the foundation in a way that you could be building on top of and moving forward towards your long-term goals. Recognizing that you're building a foundation, but you're also, you know, knowing what type of energy you're wanting to give of and receive of within your relationship dynamics in order to achieve your long-term goals. You're not just putting this work all upon yourself, but knowing who it is that you're surrounding yourself with is what's going to help to bring you to that greater level of success. Okay, so you could be closing out cycles of pain and negativity. Do you want to go outside, or do you want me to let Shep in? Which one? Tell me. Tell me. You want to go outside? You won't let Shep in. That burp sounds like you gotta go potty, baby. You gotta go potty. You gotta go potty. You little turd. Alright. Excuse me. Okay, so you could be closing out cycles of pain and negativity. Excuse me. And feeling that you've been educated in a way, you really learned of what it is that you're curious of in order to take action much more confidently. Okay, you could be, you know, aware of what it is that you're needing to walk away from and how, you know, what action you're supposed to be taking that you feel is, you know, truly leading with your heart instead of the pain and the anguish that you'd gone through previously. So you could be knowing what you feel is important as far as attaining, you know, your heart's desire, and you're no longer allowing for the pain of the past to be the navigation tool. Okay, and you're moving forward into the next chapter in a way where you are recognizing illusionary dynamics and coming into a greater alignment with what you know is leading you in the way that, let me see, where you can feel confident charging ahead. Okay. Yar, we got the Ace of Swords right here. Moving forward with a new truthful beginning. Okay. And you could be having some type of communication that is launching you forward as well. Or you could be, you know, really taking action to initiate in a way that you know you're leading yourself from just kind of from a position of taking in or retaining information and gathering information to taking action with this new insight in order to gain the experience that you need. Okay. Oh, how cute. Wow. We got the Sun and the Star and then the Three of Pentacles. So that's definitely, like, that's a twin flame thing going on right there. You could be recognizing that you're moving forward in a way that is, you know, creating a more positive outcome, you know, helping for you to recognize that you're, you know, the faith and the hope that you've had in the situation is, you know, something that is, you know, helped for you to progress and get to this position, but it also is leading you towards what you feel is a wish come true. And it could be, you know, a truly positive and uplifting relationship dynamic that is bringing light and joy and creativity to not only yourself, but all others that are surrounding you and the connection that you've created. So that is pretty cool. That's so cute. All right, so recognize that you've been preparing yourself for the true success and triumph, okay, that you are, you know, wanting to dedicate yourself to. And look at that. We got the Magician. So you're recognizing that you're co-creating, okay? You could have been faced with certain difficult challenges or crossroad type scenarios, but at this point you are moving forward passionately and recognizing what you feel is emotionally meaningful. Okay, this isn't a situation that you're needing to rush yourself, but you could be, you know, or you could have been not necessarily rushing yourself. You could have been trying to dot all your T's and cross all your I's and make sure that you're, you know, going to express yourself in a way that other people can understand. But, you know, as you recognize, you know, the work that you've put in, you could be, you know, really knowing that you've, you know, you've battled through, but you've overcome. And you could be, wow, getting to a position where you're moving forward in a balanced way, moving along the desired path, knowing what it is that you have as, you know, what is important to you instead of questioning this anymore. And you could be having the strength and the courage to move forward and take action away from, you know, what you had considered lost previously, and moving forward towards what you see as fulfillment of your long-term goals. Okay, and you could also be, you know, illuminated to the awareness that the balance that you've created within you is what has been able to help you navigate through the major shifts and changes, or the conflict and the anxiety. And you're going to continue to follow your intuition when it comes to expressing yourself in a nurturing way. Okay, so that's cool. Sounds like you've gone through some empowering moments. Let me see. This one. I had some weird dreams last night where there was like different timelines going on, that I was like able to go from one place to another, but there would be certain things in one place that weren't in the other, and I was like, where's my butterfly? Or something. Like, it was like I had these like animal characters that were like, you know, like, I don't know if they spoke or not, but they were like, you know, part of daily life. And then the other side, where they were just like, they're all wearing costumes, and they were all like kind of putting on a show type of thing, you know. So there was like one side where it was, you know, a lot more in tune with the natural world and having it be normalized, and then the other one was like, we're all portraying characters, you know. And so there was like this like falsity of what was going on. So anyway, it was kind of weird. It was really weird, but I've had the dream before, so it was like this like return, and there was all these changes that had occurred and stuff like that, you know. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up right now, but dreams could be relevant. And also the fact that it was like a second time I've had the dream, because I had two of my kids within 5 minutes come up and tell me, I had this crazy dream that I don't know if I had it before, or if it was just felt like I had it in the dream again or something, but they told me that like exact statement, like, to, you know, within the same 5 minutes. It was so weird. So anyway, but you could be really creating in a way that is leading you towards success and victory, all right? And there could be a need to pay attention to what your dreams are. We got fortune, abundance, and love. Yes. So the way that you're co-creating with the universe in this way is leading you towards success and victory, but also towards the true abundance that you're desiring of. You could be feeling determined, okay? Paying attention to your emotions and your intuition, recognizing the power and the passion, and you could be wanting to take action more, you know, forcefully instead of, you know, passively, right? Yeah. Okay, you could be having energy, whether it's from yourself or others, that is much more friendly and reliable, okay, and helpful. Okay, yeah, you can be recognizing where there have been other people or situations that were trying to take from you, and at this point you're just only opening yourself up to what you feel is, you know, uplifting and fulfilling. Look at that, moving forward towards true desired union. All right. Let's see, what have we been doing? Okay, let me see. All right. Okay, so you could be recognizing where you had been, you know, focusing your time or energy within, you know, groups that weren't necessarily there for you, okay? They could have had their own negative intention, or let me see, yeah, their own agenda in certain ways. They could have turned their back on you at different times. And you could be recognizing that you are aligning more within your divine energy. That could even be why certain groups are turning away from you, because they're recognizing the divinity, the divinity within you. But you could be seeing that the awareness of these masks and these falsities, the agenda that they had, the awareness is a gift in your life, instead of having to try and hold on to something that is false, or someone is pretending to be something other than what they are. Okay, and you can be recognizing that you're moving forward towards the desired union, that is allowing for your true light to shine, and no longer putting you in uncomfortable or undesired positions. Okay, yeah, you could be recognizing that there could have been a lot of black magic or spell work that others had been putting into a situation, and you're wanting to have a more sweet, compassionate, and innocent type of energy being brought to you, or recognize that you're being guided by more uplifting sources or dynamics instead of the negativity of others. Okay, so you could be recognizing that you could have been even guided in certain ways away from this, and that you are, no longer allowing for that to be affecting you negatively. All right. You could have been being, surveilled in certain ways. There could have been people who were kind of like invading your privacy, or, watching you from behind the scenes, but not wanting what was best for you. Okay. They could have been trying to isolate you and bind you in a way that was keeping you from your true destiny. And at this point, you could be, creating a balance within yourself that is helping for you to initiate in a way that you can feel much more optimistic and purposeful with what your desires are. And you could be, recognizing that you had been having emotional manipulation and chaos magic being put upon you, and both of these pictures have the same type of thing going around their head type of thing, so you could have been recognizing how their influence had been clouding your judgment and getting your mind off of what it was that you're meant to be focused on. And at this point, you could be empowering yourself, recognizing that you have the ability, and you could to build whatever it is that you're wanting to move forward towards without having to rely on others. And you could have had certain epiphanies that are helping for you to take more creative action and move forward with the ideas that you are wanting to implement. Okay, so you could be really separating yourself from unhealthy and toxic connections that are trying to keep you from where it is that, yeah, look at that, we got sickness, disease, infection. So they could have been really trying to take the power that you have within you away, and use it for their own means and bring you down to a lesser level. Okay. Okay, you could be coming to an awareness that you are safe and secure. You're being guarded and protected from sorry. I was shaking my head because I'm like, I'm not gonna do it, not gonna do it. The so dumb. You could be being protected from the danger, I'm just gonna say that, of these other people's lies and falsities. Okay, and you could be recognizing the warning signs. Okay, and getting to a position where you are heeding the caution signs that have been being presented to you. All right. Okay, you could be no longer playing certain games that others were trying to put upon you, and you could be taking action in your life to create the connections and the environment that you are desiring of, not only for yourself, but for future generations. Okay, you could be asserting yourself and, you know, really kind of seeing things for what they are. What do we got here? All right. Yeah, you are determined to create the balance that you're desiring of. Okay, paying attention to your intuition and your emotions, and you know, getting more excited to what it is that you're being drawn into or magnetized towards. Okay, you could be seeing how certain substance abuse or influence had been blocking you from, you know, what you were meant to be receiving. We have financial blockages right here. You could have been kind of caged up in a certain way based on having an altered perspective, I guess, or perception. And at this point, you are, you know, taking the authority upon yourself, getting ready to be, you know, more vulnerable with your feelings and take action in a way that you know is, you know, truly desired for what it is that you're wanting to create. Okay. Other people could have been putting their own projections, you know, of how they foresee things or how they look at life in general onto you, and you know, they could have been trying to, or just maybe unintentionally, interfering, intruding, hindering, or blocking your own independent expression out of the fear of how you would be leveling up once you do take action in the way that you're meant to. Okay, they could be feeling like they'd be left behind or some type of thing like that. Okay, but if, you know, somebody is in alignment as you are leveling up, you know, if they're leveling up at the same time, then there's nobody's getting left behind, because they're doing the work that they need to as well, you know. So you know, you could maybe try and, if there's people that you are caring about and not wanting to, you know, just kind of completely separate out of your life, you could be kind of guiding them through the recognitions that you formed and created, and seeing if they can navigate their way through as well. But you can't do it for someone else. So yeah, you could be recognizing what had been poisonous, venomous, toxic, or harmful in your life, or what other people had been trying to put upon you in a way that would hinder you. But as you move forward with the upgrades and, you know, up leveling, you are rebirthing in a transformed way, really kind of ascending within your own ranking spiritually. And you could be recognizing the, you know, toxic cords and attachments that had been binding you previously. Okay, and with this picture, it's like, this is like, you know, you're being restricted and whatever, you know, and then it's almost like you're using those ropes, you know, as another kind of protective layer in a certain way, once you are able to elevate and, you know, ascend into a higher position. So instead of just having what other people are trying to restrict you bind you, you could be embracing those bindings in a way that, you know, are needed or are can be utilized in a different way, you know. Like I was watching this show, and it was like this like kids show or whatever, but this person was in a trap, like a net that was like a bunch of ropes or whatever, you know, and then they got dropped off in this cave thing, and then the kid was like, this other kid was there, and they're like, oh no, what are we gonna do, blah blah blah, we can't get out of here. And then the one who'd been over there already was like, well, I had this plan, but all I needed was a rope, and now we just got a bunch of it, you know. So because of the netting that was being used as a trap, they're able to use that to release themselves from the place, you know, that we're stuck in or whatever, you know. So there could be this recognition that, you know, as you are leveling up, you're able to utilize what had been weighing you down as something that you could, you know, not only assist yourself with, but others with the altered perspective or, you know, ability. Okay, so you could be really kind of leveling up spiritually in a lot of different ways, and being able to really maintain your hope and optimism towards the outcome that you're desiring of. We have a wish and promise right there. Okay, you'd be feeling much more at ease within within the truth that you're coming into, no longer questioning or denying. Okay. Like all of these first. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can be recognizing much more easily of the falsities or the deceptive behaviors that others had been trying to put upon you. Okay, and kind of like hypnotize you within. Okay, you could be feeling you know, there could have been a time where you're in remorse or regret or feeling guilty about what it is that you'd allowed in your life, but you could be getting to a much more courageous and fulfilled position with your, you know, with your strength. You could be feeling much more enthusiastic within your abilities and moving forward more confidently, navigating through the mind games in a way that you've created the awareness, and you could look at things more positively instead of being overwhelmed by other people's negativity. Okay, and you can be moving forward towards what you feel is, you know, truly enticing, what is alluring for you, what's pulling you in, and you be ready to be bringing your abilities to the forefront to assist others and create and form. We have the masculine and feminine right here. So you could be, you know, ready to receive what you know is meant for you while taking action to move closer towards this. And you could be recognizing, you know, the relationship dynamics that you'd been surrounded by, where there was, you know, some type of dark alliance. But at this point, you are moving forward independently and fearlessly. You could be seeing that others were trying to take away from what it was that you could be creating, or even the truth that you had within you based on gossip, lies, or trash talk, and being superficial and pretentious. And you could be seeing the damage that had been doing to take away the from you, to rob you of what was truly meant for you. But as you do the energy work and align yourself in a higher way, you be recognizing that you know, look at that. We got energy work, source, and collective. There is no disconnect as you do the work to rise above those situations. You could be feeling that you know, will be receiving the helping hand that you're desiring of to be, you know, get to the position that you know is meant for you. Okay. And you could, you know, you could be, as you move forward in this way, you could be exposing other people's instability or unhinged behavior, and leading yourself towards a more contented position, you know, really feeling victorious and successful with what you've achieved and the access that you've gained. You could be feeling that you are able to now be presenting yourself in a way where you can be a model for others, to, you know, shine light on certain negative situations and, you know, bring joy back into your life and others' lives. And you could be feeling much more compassionate when it comes to the scarcity, lack, or struggle that other people are navigating their way through as well. So instead of feeling like, you know, putting your negative you know, attention on to people who are working out of pain or their own issues, you know, abandonment issues, isolation, what else would it be, you know, persecution wounds, whatever the case is, like, instead of holding that against people for the, you know, negativity that they're bringing into your life, you could be feeling much more compassionate about, you know, let me see, like wanting to help them get out from underneath that awareness or that outlook. And you don't have to be, you know, super close with somebody, whatever, but you could, you know, no longer put negative attention or energy into, you know, hating on them or whatever the case might be, you know. So you could be in a position where you are able to, you know, send love and move forward. And we have emotional, loving, intuitive, imaginative, shrewd, cautious, protective, and sympathetic. So yeah, you could be, instead of feeling like, you know, you just have to let somebody walk all over you, you could be, you know, no longer allowing for yourself to be in the position where they can do that type of thing, but you're not wasting your energy on negative energy expression or aggression towards them. Okay, so you could be leveling up in ways where you are rising above the negativity and you know, the unhealthy bonds and behaviors that you'd been surrounded by previously, but you're not having to partake as well, you know, based on what negativity they've sent towards you. So you could be creating a new beginning, really knowing how it is that you're able to help and assist others, and recognizing that you had been, you know, assisted and guided as well to get to the position that you are, in order to elevate and, you know, work through your own issues. Okay. You could be recognizing how there'd been a lot of different falsities that had been, you know, projected into a situation based on, I don't know, kind of like the ways of the world in certain ways, a lack of connectivity, in a personal way. Okay. But, you could also be seeing how that had been something that was used in order to corrupt the truth of what could have occurred on its own. Okay, so at this point you're wanting to be adaptable and take action with a smarter intention, and communicate in a way where you are no longer allowing for, you know, other people's negativity and you know, lack of connection to take the forefront. Okay, you're going to be paying attention to your intuition, recognizing certain unhealthy third-party dynamics, and, you know, moving forward towards what you feel is, you know, truly unconditionally loving situation. Okay, recognizing how certain contracts or obligations had been kind of like a setup for you to be not able to achieve what it is that you're desiring of, but that game is over and you're moving forward towards a situation that you could be feeling, you're moving forward towards a true ally, friend, or confidant, instead of just into another situation where you're dealing with a narcissistic or manipulative party. Okay, so you could be feeling that even expressing your love in the way that you're desiring is practical. Okay, and it's something that you're no longer questioning yourself within, and you're getting to a greater sense of peace, harmony, and calm. How cute is that? Yeah, there could have been, ouch, ow. Let me see. People could have been falsifying who they were in different ways, that was leaving you, feeling insecure or doubting yourself, and having, you know, focusing on abandonment or rejection. But, let's see. But you could be recognizing the growth that you've navigated through, and being able to ground your truth into reality, where you're no longer allowing outside influences that aren't for positive means to be taking the forefront of your, you know, your thought process. Okay, yeah, you're recognizing that you're only wanting to really pay attention to what intuitive guidance you're receiving from the highest influence, right? There's something I was going to say earlier, and this kind of reminded me of it. Let me see. It's like, okay, so we're in the physical world, and there's a lot of people who think that the only thing that they see is the reality, right? You know, and they haven't spent time to go inward, pay attention to their intuition, figure out their own spiritual awareness. You know, there's religions that are forced down your throat in all these different ways, and not everything might align, or you could have had negative experiences that push you away. But when you recognize that, you know, each person is connected because they are an expression of God, then you can start to open yourself up to all the other things that are, you know, unseen but known to be true, you know. And it's like there's navigating through the physical world, but then there's also, you know, navigating through the spiritual awarenesses that you're needing to have in order to really create your life in the way that you're wanting to, instead of submitting to what it is that you're seeing around you in your physical world, you know. So if each person were to, you know, like light up their own energy and express through love and light, instead of being allowing for them to be drained by the negative, you know, forces who are wanting to basically keep the machine turned off, right? It's like the negative energies have like corrupted the system in a way where they've held everybody down for so long that they think that this is the only way that life is, or whatever, you know. But when each person awakens and aligns within their own sovereign ability and recognition of the connectivity that they have with the spiritual, and take action, you know, following their intuitive guidance and what they know to be true within them, you know, then each person lights others up, and you know, then it's kind of like it spreads on the grid, just as the negativity has, you know. So anytime you're feeling discouraged, just kind of recognize that that is being intentionally sent towards you in order for you to give up on your own power and allow for the negativity to course through you instead of the positive energy, right? So I don't know. Hopefully I'm not all over the place with that, but and I'm not sure if that's exactly what I was going to say. But I was going to talk about how people don't really pay attention to the spiritual aspect of things, and they think that only what they physically see is the only aspect of life, right? You know, but there's hopefully new awarenesses that are being formed, you know, everyday type of thing to, you know, help elevate out of that outlook. But once everyone starts to do that more intentionally for themselves is when, you know, major changes can occur, you know. So anyway, if you're watching this, then you're probably already there. Have a good one. Excuse me, I was just gonna head out, but yeah, maybe I'll do a reading later. This one keeps popping out really cool. Let's just look at this bottom one right now. Okay, we got a celebration. Yeah, somebody could be moving forward confidently. And we got Four of Wands right there. Towards what they feel is meaningful within a connection that they could be feeling inspired by, ready to receive of. Oh, we got the Star card right there. They feel as a wish come true. We got King of Wands and King of Cups. It's like somebody could be, you know, really ready to express themselves in a way where they know is working towards what they'd envisioned. Okay, they could have been learning about what it was that they needed to do in order to change and alter and shift. But at this point, they're, you know, feeling that they know what steps are needed to be taken to move into the next chapter, away from, you know, conflict, and utilize the skills and their abilities of, you know, what they've learned and the work that they've been putting into a situation in order to, look at that, we got the Emperor right on top right there, assert themselves and will into the reality what it is that they're truly desiring of. So, okay. I'll talk to you later. Hopefully this helped. Bye-bye.